Hello everybody. Today we are going to learn the elasticity. What does it mean? First thing, what do you mean by elasticity? Okay. So first thing, why do we need the elasticity? Okay. Now the question in front of us is that why do we need the elasticity? So first thing, whatever the human constructions done means what means building, house, bridges, whatever the construction is there, in that case, what do we do? Okay, first thing, we have to build the construction in such a manner that the gravitational force must not work on it. Means what, we know very well, whatever is thrown upward or each and everything is hold due to the gravitational force. And Newton's apple was there and it fell down, and because of that the gravitational law was studied. But in case of building the house or bridges or this wall, whatever the construction is there, in that case we maintain the stability over here. Means what, we want the stability. Stability means what? Now we know if the gravitation is not there, then each and everything will float in the air or it will flow in the air. Okay, as the gravitation is there, so each and everything is hold together. But if we are building the house and if the same wall will also come down due to the gravitational force, then we can't survive, and we can't protect ourselves uh, of sun rays, rain, wind energy, and all the other things. For the purpose we build the house. Why do we build the house? We build the house because we don't want the sun rays which is harmful for us, and rain and all those things, everything is included in that. So elasticity is the concept, or it is the property of the matter in which whenever we construct, we need the stability over here. So now again two things will come in our mind, then what does this stability is related to? This stability is related to the rigid and to the rigid body and non-rigid body. The basic concept of this stability is the equilibrium. Now, what is meant by equilibrium? We know the word-to-word definition of the equilibrium, but here the concept of equilibrium, how it is used, and what do we exactly want to study with the help of the physics, we will see. So here we are trying to discuss what is meant by stability. Now whenever the construction takes place, we know very well that there are various forces acting on our construction, such as gravitational force which holds the each and everything down. Means while calculating we calculate W is equals to mg, and also the wind force is there which can also create an obstacle whenever the wind energy is blowing. So in that case, how we are going to maintain the equilibrium of the forces, that is more important while constructing any construction. And one more thing which is important is the torque acting on a rigid body. So these are the concepts which we particularly study while doing the human construction. Now another concept is that is the non-rigid body. Now non-rigid body is operated with the help of the elasticity of the non-rigid object. So such as if the earthquake takes place, we know where earthquake takes place only for few seconds, but in a few seconds if the intensity is more of that earthquake, then naturally the buildings and all the construction work can collapse within a fraction of a second. So in that case we have to apply the concept of the elasticity so that the our construction can deform its original position with respect to time. Means we know very well what is meant by deform. Deform is the force when deforming is the restoring energy of any object when the forces are removed. Means for the contact when the force is applied to any object, the restoring force of the object to regain its original position and shape and size or volume is known as deform. And this is the basic concept which we use while learning the elasticity. So what are the things which we must keep in our mind when we are discussing about the stability? So stability is the basic concept in any branch of the physics. This stability is also studied in the nuclear physics. When we use different kind of nucleus and the reaction takes place, and in that case also we study the more stable atoms and the neutrons and all those things. This stability is the basic concept, and we are trying to apply the same concept over here. So what we have learned today? Today we have learned that the stability, how to gain the stability with respect to the rigid object and non-rigid object, and what we must keep in our mind when we are discussing about this. So when we are talking about the rigid object, the equilibrium of the forces is more important. Means we must find the equilibrium of all the forces acting on the object. And next is the torque acting on the rigid object. Okay, and non-rigid object, elasticity of the non-rigid object. And what is meant by elasticity? Elasticity is indirectly related to the deforming force. And what is meant by deforming force? That we have already studied in the some important concept of the elasticity, such as elastic object, and first was deforming force, and there are total 8 important concepts which we will see of the related to the elasticity. So we will revise the basic concept. So there are total 8 some important concepts related to the elasticity. Uh, from them we have already discussed the deforming force and the elasticity. Now we will take a short revision of the two concepts, and we will learn the new next concept of important concepts such as elasticity. So what does it mean? So first thing, deforming force, we have already learned what it was, which concept were there. First type of deforming force was free to move. Means the bodies which are free to move, they will take the acceleration, and that acceleration can be calculated with the help of A is equals to F upon m. And next was, if the body is not free to move, then the molecules inside them will change their respective position according to the force, and they will regain their original position if the force is removed. And elasticity, the elasticity, in the concept of elasticity we have seen the internal energy or restoring force, etc. Means whatever the changes took place because of the forces, and if uh, that changes are regaining their original position, or the molecules are taking their original position, is nothing but the elasticity. And the energy which performs that operation on that molecules is known as the internal energy, or if you call, some call it as an internal energy, and some call it as a restoring force. Whatever it may be, the operation is mm, going on there. Okay, so now the third concept of uh, important concept is the elastic bodies. Now we have already learned the definition of the elasticity, and what will be the elastic bodies then? Nothing. It's very simple. The bodies which possess the property of the elasticity within them, they are known as elastic bodies. But how we will come to know that the given body is the perfectly elastic or not? So we must know the definition of that perfectly elastic body. So what is that definition? The definition is those bodies which recover their original form. Okay, those bodies which recover their original form immediately and completely are known as perfectly elastic bodies. Now suppose this is an object, this is the atoms, these are the atoms. As I am applying the force on these atoms, what happens? It is changing their position from here to here. Okay, and deforming force is nothing but regaining its original position according as soon as the forces are removed. Is nothing but the deforming force. But if I am after applying the force, if immediately the atoms and molecules are taking their position and completely, okay, means what? Uh, These two words are asking us to think on such a way that immediately means I am applying the force, and after long time, if it's going to regain its position, then we will not call it as a perfectly elastic bodies and completely. And if the force applied was a little bit more than the elastic limit, then what will happen? That body is not going to regain its position completely. So, if the body is going to recover their original position immediately, okay, as soon as the force is removed, and if it is going to regain its original position, then we will call it as an perfectly elastic body. And completely means there is no difference, means before applying the force, whatever the structure, volume and length was there, if it is as it is, then only we can say that the given body is perfectly elastic. So these were the first three important concepts of the elasticity which we have discussed, and we have also discussed the concept of stability today.